So yes, Gemini 2026. I know most of you must have won this bet. He's gonna do Gemini next. Aha, but you don't know what I'm gonna do next. So anyway, Gemini 2026. And for Gemini, as you know, right in the ascendant, you have Jupiter transiting in Gemini Nakshatra Punarvasu till March 11th, where it's going to be retrograde. And after March 11th, it's going to be direct till May end and June beginning. Enters the second house in Cancer. A month or so in Punarvasu, then it moves into Pushya for rest of the year. Or, well, not rest of the year, because by August, it's going to transfer into Ashlesha. And then by October, and is going to enter into Magha for about a few months. Okay? Saturn, on the other hand, is transiting your 10,000 Pisces. So, and then always remember, my marriage course is currently active on Magha Vedic Astrology Academy, where I'm going to teach you some new tricks and tips that I've learned regarding marriage. Beautiful ways. I mean, you wouldn't even think that, wow, really, this is how we should look at it. This is the see, it's not just about Jupiter looking at Venus and Jupiter looking at the seventh house. There's actually actual calculations that are taking place. There's 3 or 4 different ways. So I'm going to show you this in the description. You can see the link. So Jupiter always, whenever it comes into the ascendant, it's always a great thing. Why? Because it brings expansion of the individual. Usually with Jupiter, okay, you can see usually a person's face from oval, somehow you're going to start to see the roundness in their face. Okay, like especially a bit of bloating on their face. Like if you will see, and this is why these are particular time periods when supermodel do certain substances because they think they're gaining weight. And you will see if a supermodel has Jupiter transiting the ascendant, they naturally will begin to become a little bit more plump and the cheek fills up. And it's a good thing. It's a beautiful thing. But Jupiter here gives you plumpness. Jupiter, okay, makes a person become very direct and straightforward in terms of the knowledge and wisdom they have accumulated in life, especially if it's somebody has a 3rd, 4th, or 5th round of Jupiter that is happening in the ascendant. You will see more than absorbing knowledge, here a person gives knowledge. On the other hand, in your 20s and teens, few people will have enough wisdom to do that, but mainly Jupiter is a sponge. Think of Jupiter is a sponge that is soaking in water till its 3rd round, meaning 12, 12, 12. Till 36, Jupiter is soaked in the water. So here, if you're below a certain age, below 36, you're going to be soaking in all the information. And what happens is, imagine now what's happening with this Jupiter in the ascendant in Punarvasu Nakshatra, which is the return of the light. A person is going to be squeezing that sponge so that water, the elixir, the wisdom, the knowledge comes out. That is what Jupiter is doing in Gemini. So what they're doing, see with Punarvasu, you will see many people will begin to teach something from very beginning. They will go back to the beginning and bring it as wisdom now. The basics, like they say, God is in simplicity. And what is that other saying? Like, stick to the basics. Or it's the basics fool. I don't know what the quote is. But the thing is, they tend to regurgitate that, listen, you forgot this. Let me give you this wisdom again. Let me give you this knowledge again. Okay, and especially with Jupiter in the ascendant, your job, okay, is to become a savior. You're going to be looked on by the public like a savior. If you're a public figure, you're going to be looked on like a savior in your family. In your work, you're going to be looked on like a savior because you're going to help them with some issue that they thought things were going to go down, and yet you come in as Lord Ram and save them. Okay, and especially this is a very, very good period for Jupiter while Shani is in the 10,000 Uttar Bhadrapada Nakshatra, which is a Lakshmi ruled Nakshatra. And here's Aditya, another form of Lakshmi. This is especially a great period if you have the chart and combinations to start your business, bring out new products in your businesses, looking for new jobs and opportunity. Now, this will be seen if you're going through the Antradasha or Mahadasha, which is second from the moon. So whatever sign is second from your moon in the birth chart, if you're going through that Mahanantra Dasha, or especially if, let's say, your moon is in the 12,000 Taurus and this Jupiter transits the second, if you're looking for some job that you've been struggling for the past 2, 3, 4 years, you're going to get that job. Simple as that. And Jupiter especially, this is the very, very strong period for, now again, comes to the marriage part, right? Like, well, both Jupiter and Saturn transit, okay, right now is on the 7th house till May, like I said, till first week of June. June 6th, I think, June 7th. So marriage does happen. However, again, like I said, in my marriage course, I'm going to show you, it's not Jupiter and Saturn that just are bringing in marriage. It is a specific calculations and specific calculations in Navamsha. When certain planets transits these places, they trigger marriage. Okay? That's where they trigger marriage. So this is how you're going to be able to understand this. But what it does do, relationships, yes. I mean, it's triggering your 7th house. Either business does well, relationships happen, you'll run across many people, you will run across many people who are highly educated. Especially, let's say you're looking for a life partner, okay? You're going to meet people who are highly educated. Then, this is not really like, I know Jupiter aspects the 5th, 7th, and 9th house. So don't think that, okay, well, children can also come. No. Saturn itself will have to somehow impact certain lords and planets in your chart in order for that child to be triggered. But what it does do, this is simply the time period of being the sponge, the squeezing the sponge and soaking the sponge. Meaning a person is learning and sharing, learning and releasing the wisdom from them. This is what this Jupiter is. And on the other hand, you will see you don't have to do anything. Most of the time you will see with this Jupiter, opportunities comes to you. You know, like for example, let's say you're looking for a job for past 6 months. Your resume is online. And you have given up. You're like, whatever. Suddenly, one of the people that you may have had contact with, maybe they were your friends on social media, suddenly said, listen, I'm not good for this position, but I do know somebody who was looking for a position just 4 months back, 5 months back. I don't know if they've gotten it. Maybe you want to contact them because they have the exact qualifications that you're looking for. And they give you your information and they contact you, say, hey, listen, somebody could be contacting you because I knew you were looking for this. And then boom, what happened? They're coming to you. See, some places you have to go. Like for example, if Jupiter, let's say, was transiting the sign of Pisces, well, you better be going out there making an effort. You better be going out there and meeting people. But here, both the 7th and the 10th house energy is going to the ascendant. 7th house becomes paraprapti. 7th house becomes your higher valor, more than just business and marriage. It is part of your status. 10th house is naturally the working status you have. And so when those two lords is here, while it's retrograde, you will see a lot of back and forth miscommunications can happen. And especially you need to watch out for communication. Like for example, I'm pretty sure my XLR mic up here from this camera is going to give me some trouble because my Aquarius, I saw it was getting like this every 10 seconds. So this is not the best mic because I've got an XLR adapter for this new camera coming tomorrow from B&H Photo tomorrow. So when it comes, hopefully I have a better audio. Right now it may sound like a echoing room, because it's not the top-notch audio, but hopefully I may have fixed the wire. Let's see. So also communication issues naturally happens. Okay, because of it's retrograde. You're gonna either, especially with Jupiter and Gemini in Punarvasu, see, Jupiter is humor. Jupiter is a comedian. You think Mercury is a comedian? No. For being a comedian, you need to be extremely humorous and you have to know the perfect timing and luck. Remember what they say about being a comedian, stage comedian. You gotta have that perfect timing and luck to make that crowd go wild. So, Jupiter, when it's in Gemini and Punarvasu, you will see, especially middle aged people, can bring about like dad jokes, old 90s, 80s jokes. Can't believe it. It's going to be almost like 30, 40 years now, 90s, right? That tells you how old I am. I'm old. But you will see, because of Jupiter being retrograde, you want to be careful the type of jokes you may want to say in your professional settings, because now everybody wants their safe spaces and everybody gets offended with everything. Okay. So you want to watch out for that. It may be a lighter joke that wouldn't be taken so seriously when Jupiter is direct, but if it's retrograde, it's like a boomerang. You throw it and it's coming back to you. You give a joke and then you will get something in return as a reply that you may not like. So, and then the other thing, this is also the period I do see that many Gemini people, I'm not saying you're going to get it. Don't think I'm saying I'm all Gemini. That would be a stupid, idiotic statement to make. But there will be, with the mass Gemini population, interest in looking into properties and real estate. Okay? Because do you know 7th house is actually also property? And you know what 7th house is? 7th house is a new property. What do I mean by new property? Property that you're about to move into. That becomes the 7th house. Once you're moved into it, it becomes your 4th house. So you will see many people will be like on websites, whatever website you have, looking at land, looking at things. Oh, is this cheap now? What the price is now? What if I get this as investment property? So you'll do that. Now, once we look into Shani Dev, Sanishcharaya, first of all, the way you're going to succeed in the next 2.5 years, or well, no, not 2.5 years, sorry, a year and 4 months. The more you do repeated things, right? The more you're doing repeated things, the better your success is going to be. This is why I said many a times with Jupiter now in the ascendant, Saturn in the 10th house, the person will bring about some old product and try to sell it as new again. And it's not a bad or good thing. It's not like they're cheating the public. They're just saying, we used to have this product, we took it out, did well, we're bringing it back again. Okay. And it actually works. Because remember, Saturn is old. Pisces is representing the recycling of the two fishes who are chasing the escape. They're trying to escape, actually. The two fishes are looking for a way out. They can't. Okay. And it's a whole philosophy behind how the two fishes can find their way out so they can find moksha. Because it's a final sign. The moment they stop, they can find the way out. That's why they say stop chasing this guru, stop chasing this mantra, this technique, that technique. The moment you become empty and just focus on that one thing, suddenly it just starts to open things for you. I can't describe it, but I do know I've spoken to a lot of people who have attended things like Vipassana and all that. Change them, but they always come back to their main routine. 6 months, 5 months, you come back. You have to continuously do these things. But Shani also loves repetitive things, recycling things. Why? Because Saturn is one of the karka of the 6th house. And what is 6th house? Your daily routine. People who have daily routines, they are always quite successful. Daily routines could be anything. Like you have to wake up, you got to have your coffee, then you got to go play golf, okay? Then you do your kriya, then you go and do your work. It's pretty much I'm giving you my daily routine, but You want to have a daily routine. Why? Because it starts activating your Shani in the 6th house. Now, why would I want to activate my 6th house? 6th house is diseases. Yeah, it's part of it. But guess what? 6th house is also 9th from the 10th house of Bhagya, luck of your career. And remember, things have to be lubricated. Every house should always it's like every house is an engine. And if you don't turn it on, it's going to start giving you problems. That oil needs to be changed. So you have to keep every house moving every now and then. Even an atheist should go actually to church or temple if they want better luck. Fine, just do it for that reason. Okay. And then also, this is the period a Gemini person is going to be budgeting the hell out of everything. They are going to be very nitpicky towards their expensive donations, investments. Even as investment, they'll be very careful. They're not going to be just like last 3-4 years. Oh, Bitcoin, take this. Ethereum, take that. XRP, take this. Nvidia, take that. No. Now they're going to be like, why am I investing in Bitcoin right now? What is the liquidity factor? Okay. Why is it that these countries are looking to pass this legislation? All these things matter when such price goes down dramatically. It's like geopolitics affects that particular price of a stock or price of a crypto. So you are going to be careful now. And this is why, and you shouldn't be impulsive. Because this is Shani now affecting that house. And the other thing, while you're working, you will see. When you're working in your professional setting, you'll suddenly become critical about your spouse or mother at home or on the phone. And this is very true when Jupiter is retrograde. You will say something so harsh and cold and you don't even care. You won't feel like you've said something harsh and cold, but that person will get absolutely hurt. And this is going to happen not just one time, repeatedly. Okay, and mainly it's going to be with the spouse or the significant other. Because that same karma on the 4th transfers to the 10th. And also you will see that with the Pisces or Gemini Ascendant, do not let your feet get dry. Or sometimes you my uncles, I used to see like literally on the bottom of the feet, you can see like a 2-inch deep thing. Like you can see the flesh 2-inch deep because it was so dry, right? I don't know if you guys noticed about our uncles back in the days in 80s and 90s because they had such dry feet. No, whatever you can, lotion, creams, or like they have that cheese grater that takes away all the dry skin. You must do that and you will see how your career and your profession improves. And especially when Saturn is in the 10th. Okay. I don't know if you guys know anything about Karna. Okay. I don't know, usually they don't know the name of the Karnas, but like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 Karnas are fixed and then rest are movable. See, dogs are barking. They want me to. They said this is very important. Okay. So, what was I saying? With the Karna. See, when Saturn is in the 10th, the hour of the Karna becomes very important. But this is not something I can tell you here because all of you will have different Karnas. Karna shows the potential of wealth in your chart. I don't ever talk about it, but I do always see it. Whenever in my Parashara light, I'll always go to that report and see what the Karna is. So I know what type of way I need to guide this person. Now, because those things become helpful, and especially with your Saturn the 2nd, you will also see this is a time period that if you are in your 50s and 60s, children begin to start their professional career. They start to get employment. They start to get a job somewhere, even if it's an internship. That will become active. And during this time period, spouse, like especially till March 11th, spouse, if she buys or he buys any furniture, they will return it. They'll buy something expensive, returning, or especially that furniture will have some kind of a broken leg. And if any furniture you get which is scratched, broken, please return it. Do not keep it. And if they're not going to return it, just throw it away. Do not keep it. Don't try to fix it with some other screw or some other thing. Don't do those things. Get something, especially a chair. Very important for people with Saturn going into Uttar Bhadrapada Nakshatra. Your chair must be very strong and sturdy. And especially if you sit on a chair without the wheel, it's even better at work. I know nobody does that because everybody wants to move and go and take the file and then do this. But usually when Saturn is transiting, especially in Pisces and Uttar Bhadrapada Nakshatra, have a very strong, sturdy chair. Now, Rahu is in the 9th house in Aquarius. Ketu is in the 3rd house in Leo. One will be in Satabhishak for most of the year. The other is going to be in Leo. Then what happens is Jupiter enters the 2nd house by June. So what's happening now? This is why I waited for Jupiter. Because Ketu is in the 3rd. Jupiter goes into the 2nd, right next to it, right? And they're both coming together. At one point, they will actually meet. What this shows is that first, Jupiter, once it goes into the 2nd house, becomes very good for travel-related work. Very, very good for travel-related, like Tirth Yatras, meaning pilgrimages. Especially pilgrimages near water and places that will have some flag on a height. But as Ketu comes towards Jupiter, make sure you are donating food or giving food away. You are, whether it's your favorite organization or charity, and especially the best place would be a hermitage, some guru's hermitage, some monastery, whether it's monk, whether it's like rabbis or Hindu priest, whatever it is, give money there. Because this will balance out what you will be feeling during this time. You know what you're going to be feeling? You're going to be completely, by, I would say, August onwards. August onwards, you completely feel detached from your responsibilities of family, money, possessions. Like you just won't care. Now, you see, I wouldn't be saying this 12 years ago when Jupiter would have entered the sign of Cancer at the same time. Because this time around, Ketu goes into the 3rd. And what is 3rd? Your effort. What do you think? And why am I saying this with Jupiter? Because Jupiter is the Jiva Atma, the Jiva Karka, the living soul of the chart. So what happens is, a person loses interest in putting effort. They're just like for example, somebody who's, let's say, looking for jobs right now. They're sending resumes. Nothing is happening. You know, they have moved mountains and they can, it's like, you know, nowadays when people get an interview, they feel like they've actually moved a mountain. That's actually feel like they've gotten a job if they get a call back. And there are certain days that when you should send your resume and certain hours, which I'm sure you guys have heard me say in your career reading. So you can get call back, and if you set up your interviews on those days that I've described, most definitely or most likely you'll end up getting that job. This is how you can actually just use the cosmos and cosmotic knowledge. And during this time period, you will get tremendously interested in not watching anything entertaining, not watching anything full of gossip, unless something has anything to do with research, something has anything to do with analysis, finance, or spiritual focus. That's it. That's what you're going to be focused on. Like if during this time period, especially when Jupiter enters Cancer, go watch any favorite movie that you think might be coming out during that time. You'll go there and you'll watch it and you'll just be like, that's it. Whatever. Okay. And this is also the period, because Rahu Ketu are literally in their own nakshatra. So you can have an extremely harsh, sudden burst of headless communication. And you know where this will happen? It will either take place in a temple, a university-like setting, or in front of a liquor store, casino, or especially, let's say you go to a nightclub. And this is why for Gemini people, stay away from these places. And I will especially tell you right now, don't go to any place where you have to stand in line to get something or to go somewhere. Unless it's absolute basic necessity, like you need to get water and food, yeah. But if you're just going and waiting so you can get some new shoe or some new iPhone, please don't. You're going to degrade your sun during this time, number one, and you will activate your Ketu. You will activate your Ketu during that time. So don't make that mistake. Avoid places where they're making you stand in line to get something. Don't. Just say, I'll come later. Your friends want you to go clubbing and all that. I don't even know anybody goes to clubbing anymore. They're all shutting down. But if they want you to go right now, for the entire 2026, including now, nope, I'm good. Because it just takes that 1 second to either turn your life upside down or get canceled because somebody recorded something with you. Just that one tiny, even 5 second. That's the type of world we live in. Okay? So anyway, guys, this is my Gemini analysis for 2026. I'll keep you guys guessing what I'm going to do next. And again, if you want any consultation, go to the links here. Otherwise, my marriage consultation is active, or my marriage course is active. Although my career and marriage also is active, because I combine them both. As you know, I don't think I've even announced it here on YouTube. Like, you guys wanted the career and marriage combo together instead of paying them separately, so I brought that back.